Welcome to Java Velocity Byte. So today topic is polymorphism. So polymorphism in the name you can describe like poly means many ways. So the definition of polymorphism like it is an ability the same functionality can be performed in different ways. The functionality is nothing here we will be discussing with the functionality name find student. So this is a functionality we will be describing today. With this example, we will explain these things. On polymorphism, we will have like compile time and runtime polymorphism. So compile time polymorphism, today we are discussing about the compile time polymorphism. And we can call the compile time polymorphism like static binding, compile time polymorphism, or method overloading also. So these are the three ways we can call the compile time polymorphism. So I am creating a new Java class. So I'm creating a user service class here. So if you see here for method overloading, we will be declaring a method. Public void get student. So this is the method name means functionality name. With this functionality what we are passing here string, I'm passing the user ID. One is like string user ID, the same method name. I'm declaring the same method name, but I'm passing the different parameters. So the other functionality based on username and based on email also. So see here. So if we see here, we are passing like the same functionality. If you see the functionality get student, so here get student is a functionality and we are passing. So the get student we are saying like the functionality will be describing in many ways. One is like get student based on user ID and get student based on username and email. Let's see how it goes. So I'm putting this an if condition and user ID dot equals. I'm checking the user ID dot equals like a123. Then I'm saying like I'm printing. So I'm printing user is present with user ID and I'm passing the user ID whatever the user has passed. So this we have done now here. And whenever I'm using the another function. So here what in the real time if we like we are having the DB na, then we can check these things into the database by passing the user ID so that it will show the real time data. As of now we are not using those things, so just I'm going with if and else condition. Otherwise what we will say like we are printing the data if user is not present with user ID and we're displaying this user ID. And also we are taking another get student and we are doing the same thing. And in the if condition we can take username dot equals username is Obola. Okay. And we can check user name dot equals email, sorry, this is not username password. Email dot equals like obla @gmail.com. Okay, so this is the thing I am checking. If with this thing the user is present, I am displaying the data. So user is present with with username and I'm giving the whatever the user pass username and email. So I'm showing the email also here, whatever the user passed the mail. So if user is passed this particular email ID, I'm showing there is a successful user is there. If they pass wrong, like wrong username and email, then I'm displaying. So I'm displaying this thing like user is not present. So user is not present with this username and email. So that what I'm going to display. So now what I'm doing is like, so and if you see the thing, so now what the Java will do whenever you try to compile the program, I will show you in the test user service and I will explain that user service test. Okay, so if we are using this user service test, user service, so this is how we will create a Java object by using the new keyword, and this is the reference name, and this is one type. One type means this is the custom class what we have created. How we are having string, integer, those are some types, predefined types given by the Java. But user service is a type I have created, means our custom class. So those things we called as type also in Java. So now what I am doing is user service dot get student. So here if you see I am passing a 1 2 only and I will execute the program. Here what it will say, it should say like, so whenever you are calling the get student, what it will go, so it will call this particular method. So whenever our Java program, whenever you try to run the program, so it will do like a first of all compile, means at compile time the code will be developed. So Java has two things. One is compile time and runtime. The compile time is nothing but after writing the code, whenever we try to run the program, first it will compile all the codes and it will check whether all the classes are present, whether we are having everything correct or whether any syntax is missed. So those things will be shown at compile time only. So that's why we will say this is a compile time. So if I go to this get student, okay, here I will remove remove the syntax. Now only here it will show red light, means this is like a red bulb. So the red bulb what it shows like this is the syntax you missed, means at compile term only it is displaying. This is done by who? As of now we are working with id, so that's why the id is showing at compile time only. Without the id, if you do with normal in notepad and what the usually in the olden days they will do, and if you try to execute from the terminal, then it will say without the syntax. Whenever we try to like first we will compile the program, so whenever we try to compile it will show the error, syntax error at this line. So now we are using the IDE, so that's why they are also showing at compile time only. Okay, so that's the thing what I'm saying about the compile time. So we call the method overloading as a compile time polymorphism. And if you see, I have run the program and it shows like user is not present with user ID 812. So I will show some debug option also here. So if I click on the 8 number line, it is going and it is going to get student. I am keeping one debug point here. So now I will run in the debug mode and how it is executing the, so it will go to here get student and it will check if condition, if this is failed then it will go to else block. So we will see these steps now with the debug. So here just we kept the debug points and you instead of run what you can do, you can do the debug. So the program now will start into the debug mode. So now the program has started. So the debug has the options like resume, and we can go to step over, means it will go to the next line. Okay, step into means it will go to into that method and we can get out. Okay, so daily we can learn these things. Now I'm clicking on step over. So now it came here. If you see here, user ID it is displaying good way. A12 is the user ID in line number 4 and line number 5 also it is displaying A12. But see here the equals method, what the equal method do in Java is like it will compare whether they pass the same data or not. So if they pass different data, see clearly here, they pass the different data. So that's why it's showing the Boolean condition like false. Okay. So now it will go to the else condition, and now this is displaying this thing. Okay, it is printing this data. So now I'm coming out of that, and now it is completed. There are no lines. I can click on. So now it shows user is not present with user ID A12. So now we will pass what? 123 A123 we will pass, and also we are having other method. So at compile term only, we will be passing these two things. Username is what we kept here, username Wobla, Wobla and wobla@gmail.com. That's the two things. Wobula, comma, other attribute name you need to pass wobla@gmail.com. So if these values are present, then it will show the data is present with this user ID. Otherwise, it says like there is no data present with this particular user IDs. We'll verify in the console. So user is present with user ID A123 and user present with username obla and email obla@gmail.com. So it's saying these two things means. So what we can conclude from our compile time polymorphism from this video is like, compile time polymorphism, why we are calling this as compile time means whenever Java is doing compile, at the compile time only it verifying what are the methods I am having, and it will know all the methods, and it will know okay, this method the functionality same but this is having only this user ID, and the functionality same but it is having two attributes. So it will know this is the functionality I need to call whenever someone calls the method. Whenever you try to execute the program, it will call that particular method. So that's why we'll call it is as a compile time polymorphism and static binding. And why we will call it is as a method overloading. Overloading nothing but the functionality here. The get student is a same functionality, but we are passing a different parameters into the particular method. So that's why we will call this is as method overloading. Yeah. Thanks for watching the video and do subscribe the channel. We will be discussing in further videos, like we will be discussing runtime polymorphism with the interface, and we will see that. Yeah. Thanks for watching.